Hi plant friends. It's really starting to get cold here in Toronto. Winter is coming. Time to move my plants indoors, but first let's do an end of summer balcony tour. The agaves have really enjoyed the balcony this summer. This variegated dwarf butterfly is doing so good. The pup is almost the size of the mother plant. This balcony gets a lot of sun, about 14 to 16 hours of direct sun each day. It's south facing with a little bit of west exposure. This agave had sunburn at the beginning of the season. She's grown out of it quite nicely, hardly a black spot on the leaves. This agave quadricolor has grown quite a bit over the summer. The new leaves are much whiter than the old leaves, and the yellow is so nice and intense. I can't wait for next year to put this plant back out on the balcony. I'm hoping to keep her in a nice sunny spot over the winter. I want to keep this nice vibrant color and growth active over the winter season. I'm going to do my best on that one. This Euphorbia bisa has been blooming all summer. It's such a beautiful plant and easy to care for, and I'm surprised that this beauty enjoys the amount of sunlight I've been giving it. This one is the Succobertia. This one hasn't grown a lot over the summer. It is a new plant for me. It's the first season. So I'm going to see how this beauty grows over the winter. Maybe it likes it a little bit cooler, but we'll see. I really need to repot this Cressula Buddhist temple. It's grown a lot over the summer. It's practically doubled in size. This top portion is all new growth. This Hastrophytum has gotten bigger, and you know what? It's been working on these blooms for a number of years now. Every year they get a little bit bigger and bigger, so I'm hoping that she'll bloom soon. The crown of thorn has really enjoyed the balcony. She's been giving blooms after blooms all season. If you've got one of these guys, the trick to keep them in constant bloom is to give lots of sunlight, as much sunlight as possible. My lithops are still surviving. This is my third or fourth try with lithops, and they're doing very good. I have not watered this plant all season. It's been getting water whenever the rain falls. Look at this gem. It's the totem pole cactus. She's grown a lot this summer. This is all new growth. This beauty only gets water when her trunk is soft. If she's feeling a little bit soft, then I'll give her some water. If she's nice and firm, no watering is needed. This silver dollar vine has grown so much. It's nicely tendriling. Now this summer she did get a little bit too much sun. She's got a leaf with a little bit of sunburn, only a couple of leaves. Overall she's looking very good. Her leaves are a little bit thin. They're not as thick and succulent, so I could up the water on this beauty. Overall she's doing very good. So the silver dollar vine seems to put out new growth in the spring and the fall. No sunburn on the west side of the plant, so next summer I'll move her to a more shady spot. This one's Cressula Barkley, and I notice a lot of the new growth is on the south facing side of the plant. I definitely need to start propagating this beauty. I only have one plant and I really enjoy the growing on this one, so I want to have multiple or make sure this pot is nice and full. Haworthia viscosa has enjoyed summer on the balcony. At the height of summer, she was a nice dark red from a lot of sun stressing. Now that the days are getting shorter, a lot of her green is coming back, but the underside of the leaves still has a lot of sun stressing. I purchased this guy from IKEA many years ago. It's the Haworthia tenuata. I'm surprised at how many pups she's thrown off. Over the summer, this one also gets a nice sun stressing. The underside of the leaf still has a little touch of the sun stressing. This Wisteria was quite challenging over the summer. She required a lot of water. Somehow I was not able to keep up with the watering on this one. She's still looking a bit skinny. She could be a little bit more firm in the leaves. I'm sure she'll plump right back up once I move her back in. The string of pearls is fairly new to my collection. I've only had her for about 8 months or so I thought I'd try her on the balcony this summer, and I think she had a little bit of a setback. A few leaves have dropped. Hopefully over the winter she'll plump right back up. No flowers on the adeniums this year, probably because I did a hard prune on these guys back in the spring. I really like the growth pattern on these adeniums. At first I thought that was a mealybug, but it's actually perlite. Mealybugs are quite attracted to this plant. I find them in those new leaves. They're always tucked in that little crevices, so I'm always checking for mealybugs on this guy. I really need to propagate this beauty. It's the Edith Collia. It's grown a lot over the summer. No blooms yet, but I really enjoy the way she's branching out. Wow, I'm so amazed by these Haworthias. They're practically growing out of the pot. Lots of pups on this beauty. I'm not sure what to do with this arrangement. I might need to up pot it or separate these guys into their own individual pots. Such a beautiful plant to have. The leaves are so nice and thick. Check out this variegated opuntia. It's pushed out a lot of new growth this summer. One of my favorite echeverias is the Echeveria superbum. She's grown so nicely this summer. Her little pups are so cute. Another little Haworthia that I picked up over the summer. I've got a lot of repotting to do, so there will be some plant tour videos coming. This pot's getting so nice and full. I'll need to separate these guys into their own individual pots. They're getting a little bit too crowded here. Now I noticed there's some brown tipping on the Haworthia, and I think that's due to cold damage. I've kept these guys out quite late in the season. Nighttime temperatures are dropping below 50 or 10 degrees Celsius, which I think this Haworthia does not like, so it will be happy when I move it back inside. The nice thing about succulents is that they're forgiving, so she'll grow out of those leaves by next year. This variegated jade is getting a lot of sun. Some sun stressing and a little bit of scorching on the leaves, but overall she's faring quite well for being in the sun almost 14 hours per day. This one's a fast growing plant. I've cut her back quite a few times. Sometimes she gets a little bit top heavy. We'll see how she does over the winter. She starts to get a very leggy. I'll chop her back and see what happens next summer. Look at this propeller plant. It's gigantic. This beauty finally decided to bloom after 5 years. She's got some spent blooms right there. I need to cut it back, but for now I'm enjoying the way she looks. One of the things about growing the plants out on the balcony is that the leaves never stay perfect. They're getting windburn, sunburn, a lot of tattered leaves, and I'm sure it's the same in nature. The leaves are never perfect. Lots of new growth on the rainbow cactus. This one's an easy plant to grow. Not a lot of water is needed with this one. I come by every once in a while and squeeze the plant to see if it's firm or soft. If it's soft, I'll give it some water. Otherwise, from that, this plant just sits in the sun and just grows nicely. Look at this string of buttons. It's really enjoying the cool fall temperatures. She's so beautiful. This pot's getting nice and full, and I love the way she's trailing out of the pot. Check out this purple opuntia. It's so beautiful. Now, I've had this plant for about 4 years and it's only thrown off the 3 little top pups. I find this one to be a really slow grower. Morgan's Beauty also bloomed over the summer. This one's so interesting. I love the shape and the color. What a nice succulent. My Stapalia has bloom and the smell is really disgusting. This is a smell that I definitely don't want to send anyone. It's so gross. It does smell like rotten flesh, dead meat, and some flies have landed and laid some eggs. So disgusting. This donkey's tail has grown out so nicely, she's practically touching the ground, and the top of the plant is getting nice and full. The Sansevierias did not like the balcony this summer. They're looking quite stressed. They didn't like the heat, the sunshine, and now I've got them in this cold temperature. They're going to be much happier when I move them back inside. My succulent bowl has really enjoyed the balcony this summer. I really love this arrangement. This bowl is jam-packed with a bit of everything. There's a succulent called Dead Plant, there's some mammillarias, the Tanzanian zipper plant, old man cactus, and there's also booby cactus. This aloe bowl really struggles over the summer. For some reason, it does not like the bright summer and the intense heat. At the end of summer, it always looks like this, and in a month or two, it pops back up like nothing happened, nice and green and plump. Another stinky flower. This one's also Stapalia and it smells like rotten meat. I've got these growing in the plumeria pot. The plumeria has grown fantastic this summer. She's branched out quite nicely, she's bloomed, and she's actually working on another flower spike. It's so nice to see this flower spike. It means that we'll have blooms all throughout the winter. I find that she'll drop her leaves but continue blooming over the winter. It's just beautiful. What a beautiful flower. She's really enjoyed the balcony this summer. This Thanksgiving cactus lives in my office, but every September I move her out to the balcony so she can enjoy the cool temperatures. This really tells her to start putting out blooms, and I'll leave her out until she starts to bloom or until nighttime temperatures hit about 5 degrees Celsius or 40 Fahrenheit. In a future video, I'll work on this planter box. I need to clean her up and plant some bulbs for this spring. Nice and tidy and ready for winter. Thanks for watching, plant friends. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and follow me on Instagram at Life of Bellina.